Greetings and welcome. You wish to know how you can make the disguise mask from TF2, and I will show you just that. Afterwards, there will be a tutorial on how you can make your very own custom character disguise masks. Without further ado, here's what you need. Access to a printer with color and printing paper, scissors, a glue stick, rubber string or bands, a stiff paper to reinforce the masks, as well as something to poke small holes in them, and optionally a pair of cheap black stockings. First, we need the pictures. Fortunately, people have already done the work for us. I linked this album of good disguise masks in the description. Pick the ones you like and download the highest quality available. In the folder, right-click the pictures and select print. Images are already at the proper size, so there should be no need to resize them. Team Fortress Mercenaries printed on DIN A4 sheets of paper. Next, we need to cut them out, so cut along the dotted line. After that, we need to reinforce them. This is the stiff paper that I use. You'll want it strong enough so that it may stand on its own, but still soft enough so that it can wrap and bend around your face. Now apply the glue to the stiff paper and press the mask on. Do not rush this step and avoid pressing wrinkles into the paper. You can always glide over it with a piece of wood or plastic to push any bubbles out. With that done, we can cut into the reinforced paper. Next, we poke the eye holes. Take your time with this step, this is a very delicate process. In my case, I use the hobby knife. However, if you can find something more precise that leaves a clean cut, use that. Make your holes as round as possible. And also, be sure to make the incision from the printed side to avoid pushing any bits of white paper out. After that, we punch the holes for the rubber bands. My recommendation would be to have them roughly above the ears at the eye level. Certain characters like Soldier, Engineer and Pyro don't have visible pupils, so you must get a bit creative with the placement of the holes. The only important thing to keep in mind is that the eye holes should be at eye level. These masks will severely hinder your vision when worn, so you don't want to make it any harder on yourself. Now would also be the time to punch the holes for the cigarette. I chose not to do that for aesthetic reasons. If you still have some visible paper bits sticking out the holes, be sure to trim them and cover them up with some matching marker or paint. Finally, we will add the elastic band. As I will demonstrate it on this styrofoam head, first we insert the one rubber band tip through the hole, then we tie a knot around one open end. If the knot ends up being too small, be sure to tie a second one around it to thicken it up a bit. Then we take the open end, wrap it around the head before pushing it through the next hole. Adjust it so that it hugs the head and tie the second knot. Don't forget to cut the excess rubber. This next step is optional and might only be necessary for masks with big eye holes. Cut a strip of fabric out of the stockings and using some kind of glue, glue them on top of the eye holes to cover them up. This will hide your eyes from the outside. For reference, here's a mask without the paper reinforcement. It almost ripped as I was inserting the rubber band, wraps way too tightly around the head, and cutting into it without tearing is very difficult. This thing likely won't last to a convention. And
good work!
That's it. The masks should be finished. As next step, you could have them laminated to give them more longevity and make them sturdier, but this is entirely optional. Now I will demonstrate how to make a mask of a character of your choosing. For this example, I'll go with Paimon. We need to search for a picture of her face. In this case, Genshin Impact already features sprites for the character faces, so we'll just use this one from the wiki. In the case the character of your choice doesn't have one, you'll need to make an in-game screenshot or cut up some artwork. Ideally with white background to save yourself a lot of work. And for a more difficult example, I'll also be making a mask of Magos Redditus from the Mechanicus video game. Now, to start with Paimon. I will use Krita for this, because that is what I'm most familiar with, how you could use any design software with a layer feature for this. I prepared a blank disguise mask that we can use to make our own. The download, again, is in the description below. Import the TF2 mask as a reference for how far the eyes should be spaced and at which level they should be, and lower the opacity to make it see-through. Lock both the blank mask and the reference mask layer. Insert the character image and move it to the center, then scale it up using the transform tool. Hold shift while doing so to maintain the aspect ratio. Now we come to the somewhat tedious part. Using the eraser tool, wipe away anything that sticks out of the mask outline. Take your time with this step, and if need be, you can always undo any mistakes. Some details don't perfectly fit. In this case, Paimon's halo is cropped and it doesn't look good. So as you can see, I am wiping it away with the razor tool. Be careful not to wipe away too much. After you've given Paimon a lobotomy.
I'm afraid not. Huh? I'm going to gut you like only you can discuss. You suck! Yes!
Use the color sampler tool to pick the matching color and fill the blank spots. Take your time with this. I'm also slightly adjusting the couple of strands to have them blend in a bit better. I want my masks to match the Team Fortress ones, so I will remove the torso and the shadows. But you could keep them if you don't care for the consistency. Now I will repeat all the steps with the servo skull. Again, insert the character for choosing as a layer. I managed to wipe most of the background with the bucket tool, but you likely have to use the eraser. Now it's up to us what parts of the character you wish to keep, as there are a bunch of metal bits jutting out. I settled on only keeping the skull and the main metal parts. While wiping the background, you will notice that some details look strange, in this case the tooth gap. If that happens, just use the color picker again and slowly fill in any weird spots to make them less noticeable. And that's it! The custom disguise mask, along with the blank one, will be up for download in the description. This is my first video. I do plan to make more videos documenting my cosplay work. More specifically, in the next one I want to show you how you can make your own red suit like the one I'm wearing right now. I hope my tutorial is helpful, and I wish you the best of luck with your crafts.